Hey girls, it's me. Same old me, Rambling K. Coming to talk to you about Tamar Braxton. And look, I know the Tamartians are probably gonna storm the video, as you know, the brownies and the Kimberitos have done to me before. When I talk about folks' faves, they get all, emboldened and in their feelings. So I'm gonna get this out the way for you. I'm fat. What else? I look like a lesbian. Tamar can outsing me any day. All the things that the girls will want to say. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, you don't have to leave your hate speech. You can just leave your thumb down and go on about your day. It's not that deep. Tamar Braxton. I sat on this for a few days. I heard about it literally right after she posted the video, but I sat on it and I was like, maybe it'll feel different to me or whatever. Tamar Braxton's niece, Lauren Braxton, recently passed away of a heart condition of, some sort. I'm not sure if it was something they knew she had or if it was a surprise. I don't know, and it's really not my business. But Lauren passed away. Tamar Braxton got on Instagram Live, I believe it was, a couple of days after the death, and basically just filmed a little promo segment and went on. It was weird. It was like she's on this tour with Candy. Y'all come out and see her on this tour because she's so tired and she has a splitting headache and all of this. And it's like, okay, yeah, you want your fans to support. I understand. Candy has been so accommodating. That's nice to hear. It's so good to hear that Candy has been accommodating to you in your time of trouble. And then she goes on to say, y'all watched the show, on WeTV. I guess it was a Thursday or a Wednesday night, and the show was coming up, and she was giving, watch that show, I guess, because I'm supposed to tell y'all to watch the show, even though I don't really feel like all that, because it just seems like Tamar is always arguing with everybody, the mailman and my sisters and blah, blah, blah. And she lists, all these people with whom she has argued, or makes up a couple people. You know how we love to elaborate. And that struck me as strange, because it's like, Tamar, WeTV ain't making you, I mean, maybe they are, but you were saying it as if this is an animated television show and it's just out of your control how the character acts, or even a scripted television show, just a live action scripted show. This is supposed to be reality TV, which means how you act is what they record. They can't record you acting a fool unless you acting a fool. Like, I don't understand. She was talking about how, she seems to always be arguing with folks. And it's like, but you are always arguing with people. You are. I don't understand people who are not in touch with themselves as a person. I understand that I can be argumentative at times because I want to be understood. I'm very clear within myself that if I feel like somebody is not understanding me or not trying to understand me, I can be argumentative and combative. I argue with my mama, I argue with my grandmama, I argue with my great granddaddy. Like, we argue from time to time, me and my aunties, get it in every now and then. Like, I know with whom I argue and for why. I know all of these things. Tamar seems to be confused. She seems to be very confused about her arguments. Like, it doesn't seem like you're arguing, Tamar. You are arguing. It's not, all of a sudden you're watching WeTV and you're surprised to see, oh my goodness, I'm arguing. Anyway, so past that, she goes on to say that she's just so tired. And then she says that this is the first time anyone in her family has ever passed away. And I get that. I completely get that. We haven't had many deaths in my family. In my immediate family, I don't think we've had, well, since I've been alive. I don't think we've had but like one. And it's very strange to me when people are so familiar with death and they understand, like, when people's family members die all the time and they're just like, oh yeah, another cousin. Like, that's so foreign to me. So I understood what she was saying when she was saying that no one in her family had ever passed away before and this was new to her. Okay, I get that. But then she goes on to say, don't nobody ever tell you about the funeral, and I just don't have the time. And we all know that even before Tamar, I've been saying, who has the time, or I don't have the time, or y'all don't care, or I don't care. Like, that's just a thing I say. Sometimes as a placeholder, sometimes I genuinely don't care and I genuinely don't have the time. And it has nothing to do with, Tamar. I don't take any of my slang from Tamar. Please believe me. I've been saying it well before Tamar got popular in all of the media and the carrying on. And watch her start saying carrying on. Everything I say just finds its way out in the world. It finds its way. I know a lot of people say carrying on, but I know for sure that I am one of the only YouTubers that says carrying on in nearly every video and in every conversation I have in real life. Carrying on carries. It carries on. But this ain't about me. This is about this moment. Tamar saying she doesn't have time. You know, I at first took it to mean, like, girl, mentally, I'm so drained. I'm so booked. I'm so tired. You know, I don't really have time to delve into the emotions and feel and blah, blah, blah. That's what I took it to mean. Not I don't have time to show up to the funeral. But the more I sat with it, it's like Tamar has crossed the threshold of 40 years old. She's past 40. You have to understand that how you say things is perceived. Like, it does. Okay, girl. My stomach's growling. How you say things will be perceived. And I understand that if I say, you know, Lord forbid, I come on here and say, yeah, my daddy died, but I ain't got time for that. Like, y'all are going to be like, what? What in the world? And I might mean I would never say that. First of all, I just would never say that because that is such a dismissive statement. But y'all might take it to mean I don't have time. I'm just not going to deal with the death of my father. I'm not going to the funeral. I'm not making any arrangements. I'm not going to help financially with anything. I just am not going to be a part of that because I don't have time. That's how I would assume y'all would take that if I said it. That's how Tamar needs to start thinking. It's so weird to me that having been on reality TV for, it's got to be 10 years by now. It's got to be. I was just starting high school when the Braxtons came on. And as a Toni Braxton stan from the tender age of 2 years old, I was big excited. Now I don't even look at the show. But the point is, you've been on TV for Lord knows how long. You got really popular for being she, her, we, a, you know, all of that, and the blah blah blah, and Miss Thing and Miss and all the gay vernacular that you stole from the Scorpion show. if we're being real. And now it's gone across the globe. The girls are saying have several seats, and you tried it, as if Mikkel and Kevin didn't give y'all that. And it's just, you got very popular for that. But then when everybody found out, or no, not even when everybody found out, because at 10 years ago at 32, it was like, okay, she's 32 and she's, you know, rolling her neck and popping and do. You never grew up. You never grew up. You never changed the way that you want to be perceived in the media. But then you complain about being perceived the way that you have not grown out of. It's so weird to me. It's so strange. I am, to a much, much less degree, I've grown up in sort of a spotlight. You know, my family in the little town I'm from is very, very popular. Like, it's insane. I went to the Panera Bread about 4 years ago on a cute little date with a young gentleman, and my great grandfather called me and told me, yeah, somebody said you were out on a date. Like, I don't know who called, because I'm not in the Panera Bread on my little lunch date looking around to see, well, I wasn't at that time, looking around to see who may be spilling my tea. Now I don't go outside. Now I just don't go outside. Or if I do go outside, I go outside in the heat of the night, because I don't have privacy. I don't have privacy. So when I found out that I don't have privacy, and I will never have privacy in this city, I tried to move twice. Didn't work. Because my family is ugly. That side of my family. Actually, all sides of my family are ugly in different ways, but that's not y'all's business, and that's not the point. The point is, I amended how I behave when I found out how others behave towards me. So I don't give people the opportunity to call my great grandfather, because he still loves to be in my business. At the tender age of 95 years old, still wants to be all in my tea. Still. So I don't give people the opportunity to give him information. I don't give people the opportunity to give my, grandparents, his children, his daughter, and her husband, my grandfather, I don't give anybody anything at all. My Facebook page is literally a picture of a black screen. It's just black. And when I come on and say something, I will have said it, and then I'll log right off, because people get too comfortable. They get too comfortable, but that's me. My point, because I'm going all around it. My point is, by now Tamar should know when she says this, it's going to be perceived this way. Like, you have been in the spotlight long enough to understand that this is how it's going to be perceived. And I'm not going to take the, oh, well, social media is a new thing and it's so finicky now. And yeah, it's finicky now, but it's not, you understand what to say. You understand, like, as much as Tamar be online, girl, there's absolutely no way that she's getting online and doesn't know what to say about certain things. Like, it's weird. It's weird. And she was saying how, or I think she was saying, this might have been something I heard in, like in an article or something, but it was said how she didn't post, you know, the RIP Instagram, you know, the obligatory rest in peace to my relative Instagram post. To me, she didn't really have to do that. It would have been better than saying, you know, I just don't have time for the funeral, however she meant it. Because people are going to take you as petty, Tamar, because you've shown yourself to be a petty person. So literally anything that you would have said other than, you know, my family's grieving, rest in peace to my niece, we'll miss you dearly, anything outside of the scope of that would have been taken as petty. If Tamar would have posted a picture of her holding Lauren as a baby and going into this, you know, diatribe of, I remember when you were born and you are my sunshine, my only sunshine, and the things people like to do when their relatives pass away. If she would have done that, it would have been perceived as petty, and Tamar is trying to take away from the moment. And Tamar needs to understand that, because Tamar has been petty for so long and has tried to take away from other people's moments and has been just the baby sister just through and through. And everything has to fall back, you know, on Tamar, and everything has to be about, it all has to be about Tamar. So there should have been absolutely nothing that she said. And again, I'm not trying to tell the girl how to grieve. I'm just trying to tell her how to navigate these streets. There should have been nothing that she posted that was anything other than rest in peace. You know, we'll see you when you get to when we get to heaven. You know, when we all get to heaven, what a day of rejoicing that will be. Rest in peace, beautiful angel. And that should have just been that. Period. It shouldn't have been no post and then let me get on Instagram live, wrapped up, tied up, and tangled up and shrouded, talking about how don't nobody tell you about the funeral and I just don't have time. Like, y'all had a dog funeral on the show. Y'all had a funeral for a dog, and Tamar got up there talking about dear dog, dear dog. You know, the y'all sang and played and fool-la-la around over the death of a dog. But you say you don't have time, however you meant it, to show up to your family's funeral. That's crazy to me. That's so weird. That's wild. Because God forbid if it had been Logan, let Tony, Tracy, Tawanda, Trina, Michael, Miss E, Big Michael, Kevin, Lil Kevin, Ashley, Ricky, Bobby, Mike, any of the Braxtons, Janet, Latoya, Tito, Jermaine, any of the Braxtons, let any of them not show up. Or let any of them say, even if they are going to show up, let them have said on live, you know, they don't really tell you about the funeral. I just don't really have the time. I got a show to do. Don't you remember? Lorel loves Jimmy. Like, you know, let anybody have said anything had it been Logan. And Tamar would have flown off the handle. She would have been in Page 6. She would have been in People magazine. She would have been on Stars. She would have called Oprah. She would have went over and been hollering over top of Gail while Gail sat there graciously and said, Tamar. You know, it would have been a mess had she said or done anything like that. If the tables were turned and it would have been about Logan. So I need Tamar to grow up and to understand the way she says things is going to be perceived automatically as petty. Automatically, because you have shown yourself to be a petty person for many a year. You're going to have to give us as much time, if not more, of you not being a petty person in the media for us to be like, okay, Tamar's great. You're going to have to go into your 60s from now till you hit 60 for us to be like, all right, now Tamar's not, you know, she's grown up now. Because it's just, you, for so long and on so many occasions, you've not shown yourself to be an adult. And so anything you say, anyway, I'm talking in circles now. So the point is, what she said should not have been said. No matter how I take it, no matter how you take it, the masses were going to take it in a petty way, and she shouldn't have even said nothing except rest in peace, you know, daughter or niece. Anyway, that's all I have to say about Tamar. Y'all like, comment, subscribe, all the things the YouTubers say. Tay Martians, hey girls. Drag me if you want to. I know how it goes. It's your fave. You got to stand. I don't know. Stand, honey. Just stand down in the comments. And I'll catch y'all in the next. Peace.